Tonight, a major real estate development company based here in Western New York faces disturbing allegations of racism. Clover Group, which is headquartered at the Lancaster-Clarence town line, is being sued by a former employee who shared audio recordings that we're about to play for you that he says back up his claims of illegal discrimination. Peter Rizzo worked for Clover for almost 6 months, ending in late January of this year. He laid out in his lawsuit that some executives with Clover used the term Canadians to refer to black people, and they wouldn't build senior citizen housing in areas that had too many, quote, Canadians. The lawsuit says Clover entities illegally reject potential development sites in or even near black neighborhoods. Rizzo shared recordings with our partners at Investigative Post, and IP reporter Jeff Kelly joins me now here live. So Jeff, I'm going to start here by just playing an extended clip of these recordings, which are very dramatic, and they are on investigativepost.org right now. I talked personally with Peter Rizzo. He told me he did not edit these recordings. The men we're about to hear are discussing a potential development site in Missouri. Let's listen to this.
Yeah. Rich's Canadian factors, though, was the thing I wasn't sure he was going to be okay with, but
there are a ton of Canadians, if I'm using the term correctly, immediately to the west in East St. Louis.
Sure, no, I get that. Just in the the 3-5, I think the percentages were mid to upper 20s, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no. Otherwise, I mean, the
call Little Toronto over there.
Demos and home values are decent for sure.
Hey, Rob, what is it about the, quote, Canadian factor that drives kind of our decisions and where we're going? How does it affect our business?
Man, that's an uncomfortable question. I don't even know how to answer that, Peter. Rich likes to stay away from those areas. I don't know. It's an uncomfortable question. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever asked the question?
Yeah. Ask a question. Go ahead. You'll get a colorful response. But yeah, he just doesn't like what it does to the leasing. He doesn't like. Ask him. Ask him.
Okay.
I don't share those feelings, so.
Yeah, I don't share them.
If the demos work, then I think the demos work. And certainly as we go deeper into the south, the Charlotte areas, I think we're going to find more of that. So maybe we'll come around the corner on that. Let's hope.
It's just all hope we never get deposed on that.
Yes.
Hope they never get deposed. Seems like that is going to be what happens now. The audio there is obviously damning evidence. There is more audio. I mentioned there are more clips at investigativepost.org. Richard Greenspan is the one there whom they're referring to, developing this Canadian factor, again, referring to too many black people in a neighborhood. We don't want to build there. He's been removed from Clover's website as best we can tell. Big picture, looking at this, what else should we know in terms of what these recordings tell us and what's in this lawsuit?
Well, and so we should point out that in one of the subsequent recordings, Rizzo does ask Greenspan the question about this, and he makes it explicit. He says, we don't want to go into areas where there are a lot of black people. So the lawsuit was filed Monday, and what Rizzo alleges is that he was fired in retaliation for raising concerns about this policy, suggesting that it was illegal, that it should stop. And he was fired. The company told him that they were letting him go because they were in dire financial straits. But he doesn't buy that, which is why he's filed this lawsuit.
The CEO of Clover is Michael Joseph, a big-name political donor, almost entirely to Democrats, including the governor. He's given a lot of money. What do these claims tell us in terms of any involvement that he may have had with with this behavior?
Well, you know, he is not a subject to one of these recordings, but he is the CEO. And Richard Greenspan, who Rizzo describes as sort of the enforcer of this policy, is his best friend, and he is Joseph's right-hand man.
And he is named in the lawsuit, the CEO, Michael Joseph.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Along with the other executives, Greenspan, one of them, and several others who Rizzo captured in these audio recordings.
Yeah, and a bunch of different entities because there are so many subsidiaries and all that.
Yes, as real estate developers usually do.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different companies that are used to own and manage these properties.
In terms of the response that you have gotten to this reporting, I know that there was a statement that was put out by a communications firm that's representing Clover. I want to share that with our viewers. It said, quote, "We believe that these allegations constitute a malicious effort by Mr. Rizzo to defame and disparage the company and its management in order to garner an unwarranted monetary payment." We should also point out Clover has added this diversity, equity, and inclusion page to its website. It apparently didn't exist before all of this. And in part of it, they say, "We believe in providing housing to all people representing all forms of diversity." But what did your research show you in terms of where Clover is actually developing?
Overwhelmingly, they choose areas that are overwhelmingly white. There are very few, in fact, there's one in the city of Buffalo, which is a more diverse neighborhood, but across the country in the 6 or 7 other states where they have these complexes, they're all in very white neighborhoods.
In terms of what is actually potentially illegal or a cause of action in this lawsuit, it deals with federal law, right, and protections against discrimination?
Federal and state law. Now, Rizzo's lawyers allege that this policy, this practice, is a violation of federal and state laws, and they're asking a judge to affirm that.
And then Rizzo as well says he was improperly terminated.
Yes, correct.
I've got about 30 seconds left. What happens now? Do you anticipate, just based on your reporting and in talking with people, that there will be fallout here, especially considering the CEO of this company?
Well, it could be, because as you point out, Joseph is a prominent public citizen. He is a big donor to a lot of big-name politicians. He is also chair of the board of Roswell Park Cancer Institute, which, as you know, has faced a slew of lawsuits alleging gender and race discrimination over the past 8 years. There's been more than a dozen of those. So, you know, they have an issue there. He also serves on the board of the Albright Knox Art Gallery, now the AKG Gallery. And so this matter has been brought to their attention as well. So how they respond, we'll be tracking that, certainly.
Yeah, we'll be following it for sure. Jeff Kelly with Investigative Post. Great reporting on this. Thank you for coming in and sharing it with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Michael.